The fluorescent lights hummed their lonely midnight song as Margaret Chen wiped away tears she couldn't afford to shed. Her calloused hands trembled as she pushed the industrial cart down the empty corridor of Nexus Technologies, each wheel squeak echoing her heartbreak. Tomorrow, she'd have to tell her brilliant 8-year-old daughter Maya that there wouldn't be money for the special math program, the one program that made Maya's eyes light up like stars in their cramped apartment where dreams felt too expensive to keep. Margaret had worked these halls for 3 years, invisible to the executives who rushed past her in their tailored suits. She knew every corner, every office, every discarded coffee cup that held the remnants of million-dollar decisions. What she didn't know was that tonight, everything would change because of a child's curiosity and a puzzle left carelessly on a desk. Maya wasn't supposed to be here. Margaret's babysitter had cancelled last minute, and bringing her 8-year-old to work was against every company policy. But rent was due, groceries were running low, and Margaret couldn't afford to miss another shift. So Maya sat quietly in the break room, surrounded by her worn mathematics workbooks, while her mother cleaned the offices of people who made more in a day than they saw in a year. "Mama, I finished my homework," Maya whispered, appearing in the doorway of the executive conference room where Margaret was emptying trash bins. "Can I explore a little?" "I promise I won't touch anything important." Margaret's heart clenched. Her daughter's intelligence blazed so bright it sometimes hurt to look at her, like staring directly into the sun. Maya devoured math problems the way other kids consumed candy. But their reality meant that brilliance would likely be buried under the weight of circumstance. "Just for a few minutes, baby, and don't touch anything, okay?" Maya nodded solemnly and wandered toward the corner receiver, the one belonging to James Morrison, CEO of Nexus Technologies. Margaret watched her daughter's small figure disappear around the corner, unaware that fate was about to rewrite their story. Inside Morrison's office, Maya's eyes were drawn to a large whiteboard covered in what looked like a magnificent puzzle. Numbers and symbols danced across the surface in patterns that seemed to whisper secrets. She recognized some elements of prime numbers, Fibonacci sequences, geometric progressions, but arranged in a way that created something entirely new and beautiful. Unable to resist, Maya grabbed a marker and began working on a small section in the corner, her mind racing as she identified patterns within patterns. She lost herself in the mathematical poetry, her small hand moving with confident strokes as she solved what appeared to be an impossibly complex sequence. 20 minutes later, James Morrison stepped off the elevator, exhausted from a dinner meeting that had run far too long. At 42, he carried the weight of a company teetering on the edge of a breakthrough that could revolutionize data encryption if only his team could crack the final piece of their proprietary algorithm. 6 months of work by his best mathematicians, and they were still missing something crucial. As he approached his office, he noticed the light was on. Probably the cleaning crew, he thought, but something made him pause at the doorway. A small figure stood at his whiteboard, a child, maybe 8 or 9 years old, working intently on his classified encryption puzzle. Morrison's first instinct was alarm. This was proprietary technology worth millions. But as he watched, his concern transformed into amazement. The child wasn't randomly scribbling as she was solving it. In the corner where his team had been stuck for weeks, elegant solutions flowed from her marker with an intuition that defied her age. "Excuse me," he said softly, not wanting to startle her. Maya spun around, her eyes wide with fear. The marker clattered to the floor as she realized she'd broken her promise to her mother. "I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. I just saw the puzzle and please don't be mad at my mama." Morrison knelt to her level, his voice gentle. "Hey, it's okay. You're not in trouble. I'm James." "What's your name?" "Maya," she whispered, tears threatening. My mama cleans your building. I wasn't supposed to touch anything. Are you going to fire her? No one's getting fired, Morrison assured her, glancing at the whiteboard. What he saw there made his breath catch. The child had solved 3 critical components that had stumped his team of PhD mathematicians. Maya, can you show me how you figured this part out? For the next 20 minutes, Maya walked him through her reasoning with the pure logic of a mind unencumbered by conventional thinking. She saw patterns where others saw chaos, found elegant solutions where others had built complicated detours. Morrison listened in stunned silence as an 8-year-old girl unlocked the final piece of their evolutionary encryption algorithm. Maya, Maya, where are you? Margaret's panicked voice echoed down the hallway. In here, Mama. Maya called back, and moments later Margaret appeared in the doorway, her face pale with terror at finding her daughter in the CEO's office. Mr. Morrison, I am so sorry. She wasn't supposed to. I can explain, Margaret stammered, reaching for Maya's hand. Miss Morrison prompted gently. Chen. Margaret Chen. Please, sir, I need this job. My daughter didn't mean any harm. I'll make sure it never happens again. Morrison looked at the fear in Margaret's eyes, the protective way she positioned herself between him and Maya, the worn clothes that spoke of struggles he'd never known. Then he looked at the whiteboard, at the breakthrough that would secure his company's future, solved by a child whose mother was terrified of losing a minimum wage job. Miss Chen, please sit down, both of you. Margaret perched on the edge of a chair, ready to flee, while Maya pressed close to her mother's side. Maya, Morrison said, do you like mathematics? It's my favorite thing in the whole world, Maya said honestly. Numbers tell stories, and when you put them together right, they make beautiful patterns. Morrison smiled. Would you like to learn more from the very best teachers, with access to programs designed for gifted students? Maya's eyes lit up, but Margaret's face clouded with resignation. Mr. Morrison, we appreciate the thought, but we can't afford a. You don't understand, Morrison interrupted gently. Maya just solved a problem that's been stumping my team for months. This breakthrough could revolutionize online security. Your daughter has a gift that could change the world. He paused, choosing his words carefully. I'd like to offer Maya a full scholarship to the Richardson Academy for Mathematical Sciences. It's the best program on the East Coast for gifted children. All expenses paid, plus a stipend for living costs. Margaret stared at him in disbelief. I don't understand. Why would you? Because talent like this doesn't come along often, Morrison said. And because everyone deserves a chance to reach their potential, regardless of where they start in life. He looked at Maya, then back at Margaret. I also have a proposition for you, Miss Chen. I'd like to offer you a position in our facilities management department. Better hours, better pay, and benefits that include educational support for Maya. Margaret felt the world shift beneath her feet. But I don't have a college degree. I'm just You're a mother who raised a daughter capable of solving problems that stump teams of experts, Morrison said firmly. That tells me everything I need to know about your character and capabilities. Tears streamed down Margaret's face as the weight of years of struggle finally began to lift. Maya hugged her mother tightly, understanding that something wonderful was happening but not quite grasping the magnitude of the moment. There's one more thing, Morrison said, his voice softer now. Maya, that algorithm you helped complete tonight, when it's patented and implemented, you'll be listed as a contributing inventor. There will be compensation for that contribution, enough to secure your education through graduate school if you choose. The weeks that followed transformed everything. Maya thrived at Richardson Academy, Her mathematical gifts nurtured by teachers who understood exceptional minds. Margaret excelled in her new role, her natural attention to detail and genuine care for the workplace making her an invaluable team member. But the real magic happened in the small moments. Morrison made it a habit to check on Maya's progress, becoming an unexpected mentor who saw in her not just talent, but potential to inspire others. Maya, in turn, volunteered to tutor younger students, sharing her love of mathematics with children from backgrounds similar to her own. 6 months later, at the patent ceremony for the breakthrough encryption algorithm, Morrison stood before a room full of investors and media. But his eyes were on Maya and Margaret in the front row, the janitor's daughter whose curiosity had unlocked not just a mathematical puzzle, but the recognition that brilliance exists everywhere. It just needs someone willing to see it. Sometimes, Morrison said in his speech, the most important discoveries come from the most unexpected places. Today we celebrate not just a technological breakthrough, but a reminder that genius isn't confined to corner offices or advanced degrees. It can be found in anyone with the courage to ask what if, and the determination to find answers. As applause filled the room, Margaret squeezed Maya's hand, knowing that their story wasn't just about a puzzle solved or a life changed. It was about the profound truth that kindness, recognition, and opportunity can transform not just individual lives, but the world itself, one unexpected discovery at a time.